can sit there and say, oh, I want to raid all day, but when you're 10 hours in on the same boss, how will I hold up?
There's probably now some level of expectation that comes from our fans, more than anything else, in all honesty. That level of expectation that wasn't there for Castle Nathria, you know.
There is a lot of pressure on me to do well. And, you know, I'm trying not to let that get to me, but I would be lying if I said I didn't feel that pressure. I didn't feel nervous about it. I just need to... Give me a minute. Give me a minute.
In terms of preparation going into Sanctum, I think the entire guild's obviously substantially more prepared than we were going into Castle Nathria. I think that difference is sort of night and day.
I feel like we're very prepared for next year.
Especially from the roster side of things, having picked up some really good players, but also the officer team has been expanded upon. Our responsibilities have been delegated, and that's just allowed us to basically focus on our niche.
I have every tank ready, so whenever there's a hole, whenever there's a gap, I can fill it with any tank. I'm ready to do whatever needs to be done.
Before the tier started in Castle Nathria, things were just very last minute because of the nature of us being picked up very close to Shadowlands release. So even with the expansion release being delayed, it still wasn't just enough time for us to really push everything that we needed.
The fact that we've been able to test the mythic mode of every single boss in Sanctum as a guild from the start rather than just half the guild for Nathria, I think is going to make quite a big difference. More so for the feeling of the guild more than anything else. I think there was a lot of apprehension going into Castle Nathria. We really weren't sure what we were really expecting as we went forward. I think this time people will be a lot more settled from the get-go, which I think is going to make quite a significant difference. Going into the first tier, we were a completely new guild, completely brand new roster. No one really had any idea who we were. A lot of people were trying to downplay precisely what we would be able to achieve, and you know, it was kind of good to play with that, with no expectations on you to begin with.
Am I nervous? A bit, because I'm a tank. I'm at the front. The performance anxiety of I have to do well. I mean, everyone has to do well, but I just feel like, me personally, I'm even more in the spotlight. You know, if a tank messes up, you know a tank is messed up. So
it's going to be kind of completely reversed as we go into Sanctum. You know, we've now set a benchmark of what we can do with minimal preparation time, and now we're going into a tier where we've had full preparation time. We should have a very solid plan as we move forward, and I feel like there is going to be an extra level of pressure now to perform, you know, some steps better than what we did in Castle Nathria.
You've been spending 2 months on PTR, and then you hit live, and then you see some other guilds doing some, you know, special thing. You're like, damn, why didn't I think of that? Or like, how did I miss that? There's always like a fear of that happening, but I feel like for the most part we've covered every base, and I feel like we don't have any blind spots when it comes to our preparation of the new content.
I'm quite good with playing under pressure anyway, but it definitely adds quite a few nerves as we move forward, but I'm looking forward to it still all the same.
Castle Nathria was very thrown together last minute. The roster in the guild, they had almost no prep, or like literally no testing on the bosses, like nothing, right?
Sanctum's going to be quite remarkably different from Castle Nathria, I think.
In terms of the guild, it's not even night and day. It's like planet Earth and Pluto, like levels of difference of how much prep we are compared to how they were in Castle Nathria.
We're like so much more prepared. Like our players are like insane, I think.
Our biggest rival this tier?
I mean, there's the top three, right?
I think our biggest rivals for next year are pieces.
So we've come out and said that we ideally would like to aim for third in this tier, and automatically I suppose that makes one of our biggest rivals probably pieces.
We want to firmly cement ourselves in that third spot before we go for the top ones. If we get any more than this tier, I mean, it's beautiful, it's perfect, right? But pieces, I think, is the ones we are definitely looking at as these are our main rivals.
I think the improvements we've made from Nathria to now have really just accelerated the guild's growth, and I think we're going to have a very real shot of beating them this tier. I don't know where our power level is right now in comparison to like Limit and Echo, but I think that difference has never been closer, and I'm looking forward to proving that in Sanctum. It's gonna be fun.
It's going to be a fun race, for sure. I think with all the preparation that we've done going forward, I'm very excited. I'm very excited to look at going toe-to-toe with some of those top, more established guilds, and because we are still a very fresh guild, you know. Half of our roster going into this tier is going to be completely brand new. So I'm excited. I'm apprehensive, but I'm excited for sure.
I want to thank Method fans for sticking with the org through thick and thin and believing in the renewed efforts for bettering ourselves as an organization, but also reigniting the dream of the world first. And I'd love for everyone to join us in the journey to that and watch this space. It's gonna be an interesting few years.
It's just thank you all for the support, and you guys are all awesome.
I just hope that we can do you proud in Sanctum of Domination as well. You know, we've come a long way. We've come an awful long way, and yeah, I think you'll be surprised with what we can do. I'm very excited, and I think you should be as well. So once again, for all the fans supporting myself personally and for us at Method, I want to thank you so much for being with us, and I hope you enjoy the race as much as we do.